Okay, so we are back. Mary Beth Olive, we're on session 4 of Ignite, and we are with Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. We have this recorded. We're on YouTube, and we're also pushing it out on Facebook as well. So I just want to remind some of us there are some tools. Inside the email that I've sent, there are some drives that get sent. So let's just take a look for a second here. There's a student drive, and what's in here are the PDFs of the Keller books and Shift chart of accounts, which is your budget, and the MREA, which is the red book. And then you have the PDFs of the last vision speech and the state of the company from Gary Keller from last year. And then there's a few other things in here. The student manual for Ignite is here. And also I cut off and downloaded the conversations for you. So what you'll find there is this is the packet of just the conversations. And so it's all of the scripts pulled out of the material for you. One of the conversations I want to point to that you all could be having and you should be practicing is this page here, the beginning, where you're reminding them that you're in real estate and you're introducing your KW app or some tool that you use, or a newsletter that you're going to put them on. So this one here is an inventory conversation starter. And as you roll in, hello, this is Mary Beth. Do you have a moment? It's been a while. I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been? And then you roll into family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Something about the family, something about occupation, something about what they like to do in their spare time, and maybe just talking about a dream that they have. For a lot of your international clients, it could just be, jump into how's the family, and then, hey, are we still looking to move on that big dream of yours? And then here's the actual conversation language. I've been busy growing my real estate business with KW Bonaire, and I'm working with great clients like you, or I'm excited that I just aligned with KW Bonaire. And I wanted to share that I have a personal goal to help X amount of families this year. And as you know, I'll do whatever it takes to help people. May I count on you to reach my goal? And so there's more and more in here. I'm going to encourage you that you create some sort of script and role play. And here's what I would suggest: don't deviate from the conversation. Just read it to each other. If it sounds funny, if you're like, that would never happen here, whatever, you just read it, because that script absolutely works in some markets. So see how the flow goes, and then change it, right? Tweak it so that it's built for your market or your personality, your style. The one thing about scripts, though, you shouldn't change them too much, because there's a lot of embedded commands inside of the scripts. And if we leave it to ourselves, we may, take them somewhere else and not ask for the order, as you would say. And at the end of the day, you're always asking for the appointment, asking for the permission, asking for, the agreement, and you're always looking to close, always be closing. In the States, we have a movie called Glengarry Glen Ross that we often refer to with, it's an old Alec Baldwin movie, Kevin Spacey, some great American actors. And there's just a great scene in there about just closing. And the reality is, this is a tough market, regardless whether you're, wherever you are in the world. If you're going to make it in this market, you're going to put some effort into it. You're going to put some strategy. You're going to put some thinking. There's going to be a little bit of disappointment, and there's going to be a lot of reward, but without risk, there's not reward. So I just don't want to, don't kid yourself that this is going to be an easy business. It's just a very rewarding business. And once you've built the business, because some of you are in a stage that you're building your business. Some of you, as I know of the experience that we have on here, you've built the business. The business should be, yielding you referrals, but yet you're still in a time of rebuilding, and it's a tight market. And okay, so just, there is a commitment here, commitment level that I know that you have, and you will have to find ways to keep that commitment. Okay, so we're going to dive into defining your value, session 4. It's the last session of this first pillar, which is be the real estate expert. The next pillar we dive into is all about lead generation. That's fun. That's fun because we'll be sharing lots of ideas of what we're doing to generate leads. And we have to remember that leads become contacts. The whole point of a lead is to get the permission to communicate with them. And so a lead, you have to nurture it to become a contact. Once it becomes a contact, you have to nurture it to actually come out of there to become a client. And so the first pillar is all about you being confident in what you do, who you are, why somebody would hire you. And the second pillar is going to be, how do we go find these people? And then what do we do when we find these people? Because today I can't buy a house, but in a year I might buy a house. In 10 years, I might have bought 3 houses. Are you going to stay in touch with me for 3 years? I mean, think about your own personal purchasing journey. Do you need it every single year? Maybe you need a couple in 1 year and then you're quiet for a few, but could you refer your friends and family to your favorite realtor? Right? If you weren't in the business. So that's lead generation. Then we're going to go into lead follow-up. And that's really the nurturing of the contact database. And then the last part is really where we start talking about working with the seller, working with the buyer specifically. And there's a lot of foregrounds here because the most important thing is to create systems, have a database, build a business. There was is anybody familiar with the 4 quadrants? Robert Kiyosaki's 4 quadrants, the EBSI. So there's 4 quadrants, right? It's E, B, I mean ESBI. E is you're an employee. Some of us are an employee. Some of us are still in an employee mindset. You have a real estate license or you work for a real estate company. Now you are self-employed, right? You have your own expenses. You have to manage your own P&L. When you start making money and there's a profit, you may be a business owner, which is B. So you're first an employee, you want to self-employee, then you want to be a business owner, or do you want to be an investor? And an investor is where the money is actually working for you. And that's part of, in building a real estate business, the journey that you'll go on. And what does it look like to be an investor in a real estate business? Is that you own an office or you own a real estate team and you're not producing, you're operating a real estate team and there's profits to be had. And even with that, you then hire a CEO and you slide out. So we have to get into the mindset that this is our business, and are we choosing to be an employee inside of this, and whatever comes our way we're just going to take, and or are we going to actually build a business? And the business, and we think about it, if a doctor or a lawyer were to sell their business, if Ricarda, if you were to sell you have a car rental business, right? Am I correct, right? If you were to sell your business, what are you really selling? You're selling the database and the business that has been done before. And I want to see, how many years has this been going on? Is this going to be a business that if I jump right into it and I purchase it, it's going to keep going on? Of course you're going to have to do your stuff, right? But so are you guys growing a business that's worth selling? One thing, and this came up yesterday in a business planning clinic I had, there may be some agents on the island that have been selling for years and years and they're getting out of the business. Those of you that are savvy, I encourage you to go and make a deal with those agents. Buy their business. Are they retiring? Are they going to, put it down? And make a referral agreement with them. If they have a big business, hey, maybe you do actually buy it and you say bye-bye to them, or you just make a referral business. We're doing a lot of that in the States right now because with the market the way it is, it's squeezing people, and people are saying, you know what? I don't want to work that hard anymore. I built the business. I have the assets. I'm going to go into retirement. So just an aha moment in a time like this, you may find people that are willing to just give you the referral and they're going to stop doing the real estate sales. So opportunities in all markets. All right, so we're going to dive in here. With define your value, there is one piece that I believe is important to remember. It's this one right here. It's inside of the student. and it is down here. It says KW Page for presentations. I'll post it also in the Facebook group, but this is the mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. This is our company's culture in one page. So I believe it should go in your listing presentations, your buyer presentations. You should talk about this stuff because this is what makes us different. Integrity, do the right thing is huge, right? This is our belief system. This is how we get into business with people and out of business with people. You can't go along with this, we're not going to be in business with you. And our mission, it expanded over the years to include experiences worth giving and legacies worth leaving. We had careers worth having, business worth living, lives worth living, and businesses worth owning. But it was all about, and then what? And then how do we leave this earth? So this is something you're going to lean on if you don't have your own value proposition, and you really can't figure out why somebody would work with you. I would say pause right there and don't take another client until you figure that out, because if you don't know it, then they're definitely going to know that you don't know it, and they're not going to know it. So what is your value proposition? What matters most to buyers and sellers? Then we're going to talk about defining your value proposition, and then we'll end with just some ahas. So with the value proposition, I'd like to do an exercise. First, just in reviewing this, your value proposition is, it's a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. Okay. It addresses specific and special needs of buyers and sellers in your market. It states what you will do for your client to earn your commission, and it holds you accountable to high standards. So this is maybe a little uncomfortable, and it's okay because you're going to have to get uncomfortable. I'm going to throw you into a breakout room. I'm going to give you 3 minutes each. So it'll just be 2 of you inside the breakout room. What I'd like for you to do, and I'd like for you to take notes, because I'm hoping that through the class, the value proposition changes a little bit, right? We get a little bit more clarity on what we should be saying. So what I'd like for you to do is just explain to your partner that you get put into the random breakout room, why somebody would work with you, what you believe your value proposition is right now. And you'll have 3 minutes to tell your partner, and then I'll let you know in the chat that, hey, you got to switch. And then the partner will tell the other partner why they should work with them. Now, if you get stuck a little bit, just ask each other questions. Hey, what'd you do before? What'd your last client love about you? Right? So just help each other out a little bit. But I'm hoping that some of us can go in confidently and say what we do, why they would work with us. So I'm going to give you 6 minutes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. It's 24. We're going to go at 12 breakout rooms. And just give me 1 second. Breakout rooms. Everybody okay? Thumbs up. It's like a roller coaster ride. You're gonna be fine, I promise. Are you gonna come back alive? Assign automatically. We're gonna go create 12 breakout rooms. Okay. Go ahead and join your breakout room. 6 minutes, 3 and 3. Join. Lars, you need to join 3. Amy, you need to join 2. Okay. Okay, Heidi, you need to join 12. All right. So we're back. So tell me, what did that sound like? What were some of the things you guys heard in there? Joshon, you can't unmute and smile and then not say something.
I didn't know knew I was on mute. Yeah, I heard things like, hey, I work really hard, so I go for my clients. I'm really friendly. What else? Yeah, that was the only thing. And for the rest, yeah, I will work for you and really go for what you want. So
Anybody
that's
have thank you. Anybody have any experience conversation where the conversation of the years of experience came in? Andrea,
um
yes, I hear that. Okay. All right. Well, here's what we often do. We think we know what they want to hear, and really at the end of the day, after they get surveyed and they talk about all the things that are important to them, it's not a lot of what we think it is, right? Now, some of it is, and some of us that have been around for a little while, may have a better value proposition defined. But I promise you, as you go through this, you're going to find little things that maybe we could add, or maybe we should stop saying, and understand what the clients truly want from us. So top agents can easily explain services that they will provide provide to anyone who hires them. And a lot of times our clients don't know what we do. They don't know from the soup to nuts. Now, I personally, have had loss of commissions because of little simple things that I just wasn't listening to the customer, didn't hear what was important to them. And at the end of the day, they choose somebody else who actually, spoke to their needs analysis. So when you do consultations, you need to be listening for what's important to them. The benefits of a value proposition: it helps your clients understand your value and your expertise. Some of you came from different fields. Some of you are bringing in construction experience, sales experience, hospitality, other business experience, financial business. You are in banking. You have strengths and skills that now umbrella underneath a real estate career. So you have to think about what those transferable skills are. It protects your commission, right? Well, why hire me? Well, this is why, and this is why I charge what I charge. When you go and you choose your brand, I mean, your brand of car, your brand of suit, your brand of milk. You choose your brand because of the value it offers you. Whether you like the taste, you like the price, you like the convenience. So you have to understand that if you don't have the value, then why should they pay you? Why should they sign a buyer agency agreement with you if you do what everybody else can do? It builds strong trust and relationship. And when you can articulate what you do, that makes a client feel confident that you'll be able to, speak on their best interest as well. Now, when I go to this is just a real life, when I go to a listing table, we often start with the conversation of, three things can happen at this table. One, you can choose to list with me. We can choose that we don't want to work together, or I can choose that I can't actually meet and exceed your expectations, and I can choose not to take the listing. Fair enough? Right? So I'm setting the expectations that these three things could happen. So let's just go ahead and discuss. Now, my value right there is that I'm decisive. I know what I'm here for. We're going to discuss some options. You're going to make a decision, and we're just going to go ahead and move on. This is a business transaction. But if I don't know, if I'm not confident in what I actually bring to the table, there is no way that I am saying that. It took me years to be able to confidently say that to a seller, that these three things are going to happen, because there is going to be a time where you're going to go, you know what you're asking for, I really can't meet that expectation. I'm happy to refer to you a couple people, but that's not for me. And the truth is, maybe it's just going to take you too much time, take your eye off the ball that you're chasing to go and do some other kind of job, and it's going to be a distraction. Or it just may be something that you just can't get that price. You don't think that's going to sell for that. There's no way somebody's buying that product, right? Or you're not willing to work under the agreement that the seller or the buyer is willing to offer you. Yeah, go ahead and take this and dangle it out there. But if you bring a buyer, I may pay you only if the buyer buys in this price point and closes before this date. It's like way too restricted for me. No, thank you. Right? So knowing your value proposition allows you to also save your time and make more money. because you're protective of who you will choose to work with when you're confident that you have your standards set. So, value proposition examples. Airbnb, what does it do? Airbnb exists to create a world where anyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. Walmart. Walmart is a discount shop. We can get anything there. It's like a big supermarket with clothes and auto parts and Christmas trees, and everything is on a rollback sale. So everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock in a convenient geographic locations. Slack makes it downright pleasant to work together. Organize your Slack channels. Grammarly, great writing, simplified. Compose bold, clear, mistake-free writing and Grammarly's. So when we think about how we explain ourselves, is it too complicated? Do we not really talk to the point as to what we actually do? Are we speaking to the client? Are we speaking to our audience? So connect to your value. What's your value? KW, your market center value. That you're fiduciary. We talked about fiduciary versus functionary in previous session. Go back to that fiduciary list, whip that out and say, these are the things that I do because I'm fiduciary, not just functionary. I represent you in your best interest. I am honest with you. And I'm a market expert. Bring those stats with you. Show them that you know what you are looking at and why you're advising them at a range of this price to that price. Or Mr. Buyer, I know the market because I only work with buyers, let's say, and I know the market so well that every property you look at, I will do a comparative market analysis for you so that you do not feel like you are overpaying and you know what, you're within your realm and you know if you're getting a good deal. Right? So connect your value. And that's where I say that right here, this value proposition, God, family, then business, right? Faith, family, business. That's important to a lot of people. More than we thought. More than we thought. Okay. So especially went through COVID, we hung right back on that. We kind of put that on the shelf for a little while. Real estate is a local service business, is it? Yes. And it's driven by real estate agents and their local image. Our associates are treated as stakeholders. What's the value to a buyer or a seller that our associates are treated as stakeholders? Well, the truth is that we have a vested interest to ensure that the company does well, that every associate on our team that came here and trusted us as Keller Williams gets what they want out of this business, and they treat their clients right, and then they abide by the Y4C2Ts. So the value to our customers that they'll always be treated with integrity. The customer will always come first. Those things are important to customers. And we look at this and go, oh, that's fluff. That's foo-foo. Who wants to hear that? They just want to know what the price is and what's my commission. But the truth is, if this is in there, they may be talking to you a little bit differently. If this is your value and you say, wait, hold on, I don't have to work with you. In our perspective, a technology company that provides the real estate platform, we have always been a training company disguised as a real estate company. So we adopted that technology aspect, but I still believe we are a training company disguised as a real estate company. And why is that important to the sellers and the buyers? Because we're always on top of the cutting edge technology, the cutting edge strategies, the market on the West Coast, the market in the islands, the market in Europe. We're always on it because we're a global reach with a local expertise. Global reach, local expertise. That's important to people. And being aligned with a global company, there's a lot of benefits to that. So talking about the benefits on a global level, let's just mastermind that a little bit. What are some things that you could sell? I mean, you're not selling, but what are some things you would point out to a seller or a buyer? Why work with you? Because there's a global reach. What's a benefit to a seller or a buyer that you have a global reach? I mean, Aruba Realty is not in my face every day, right? KW Aruba app is there. Like I go to KW, I'm not going to go to other. I know I could trust what I see on my KW family sites. That's coming from somebody outside of your world saying, I trust when I see a property or I see an agent, I trust that because I know KW. I know KW here. So I believe that we get into business with the right people there too. So you can absolutely say that the North American KW families put their trust in the name, and by being represented by KW, it's going to give you a bit of an edge with your international buyers. Why would a seller want to be with you? Well, because just the same way, if you have to go and look for an agent on the islands, as a KW agent, as a consumer that maybe knows KW in my local area, I see KW, I feel comfortable, I will trust that they're going to find me a property. So now as a seller on the island, why is that important? Well, because we also attract the international buyers because of the confidence in the brand. Now, on a local level, some of you have done dynamic things in your communities. So forget the KW. Why work with Edwin? Why work with Ricarda? Why work with Zita? Why? Because, oh, what she's done here, look what she's done for the years, serviced so many people, impacted the community, maybe gave back to the church, impacted a school, always honest and trustworthy with her clients, has an event every year. I mean, now you go into the local, but if you don't have the local to lean on, you do have that international to lean on. And then you go into your personal. What is your personal? What skills do you bring? What are transferable skills that come from life? Maybe you were an athlete. I'm sure the discipline, following a schedule, what's important about that to a seller? Because I'm always on time. I always make sure I do what I say. I have integrity. I'm a team player, not going to let my team down. And because we are and I always share it, guys, we're a profit sharing company. We are a growth sharing company. Why that matters is that every single associate has a hand in winning if we're winning. If the office is winning, we're all winning. So if that individual agent is winning, the office is winning, we're all winning. And so there's a vested interest to ensure that our properties move. If you see a friend in the office and their property's too high, or there's a picture of the toilet bowl, nobody needs to see the toilet bowl. If there's a picture of the toilet bowl, especially with the seat up, you're like, you know what? Your pictures are really not representing us so well. It's okay to say that with kind and care, right? Candor and kindness, because it's a reflection on our company. So those are just some of the things I believe you can borrow if you don't have your own. And what really matters is what matters to buyers and sellers. So these are some statistics that came from a lot of surveying over lots of years. And to be honest, it hasn't changed much, even with technology coming in, because I've been looking at these reports for 20 years. It doesn't change much. I mean, newspaper goes away, but then digital goes up. So you see where the eyeballs go. People haven't changed. People in Europe are the same kind of people in Australia as the same kind of people in New York City. So people are creatures of habit. And the other thing that we need to remember, are you guys familiar with the DISC, with the Abelson DISC, the DISC? Okay. So those are behavioral styles. I'd be happy to come in and do that. I'm going to talk to the leaders today about maybe scheduling 2 different sessions, just kind of as like a gift back, because I feel like it would be good to have this foundational conversation. But on a DISC level, there's a D as a driver, an I as an influencer. D's and I's, a lot of us are D's and I's, not afraid to go talk to somebody. We got into sales because, everybody likes us. We're the life of the party. Or you're a business owner and you get what you want because you put a plan together, you execute. Those are D's and I's. S's and C's, believe it or not, fill about 85% of the population. And S's and C's are a lot slower. They're cautious. When you are sitting in front of buyers and sellers, 80% of those people are running with either an S or a C. So an S behavior, which is your biggest dominant behavior in the world, is that safe, stable, not too much of a risk taker. They're a great team member. They're loyal. You're sitting in front of an S seller. they're like, like, I don't know about you. I'm not sure. I'm going to protect myself until I trust you. Show me how you're going to do that and let me buy into it because we're doing it for the family and then maybe I'll do it with you. So we as salespeople, we're running fast. We're about to, sell me on this. But the customer on the other end most likely is sitting there making a very big decision in their life and they're bringing to the table their S. And they're saying, hold on, I need to feel safe in making this decision and choosing you. As a seller agent, choosing you is the biggest decision they're making. As a buyer's agent, making the right offer on a house is the biggest decision. It's not really even about you. If you're not getting them to the house, they don't really care about you. If you're selling their house, they care about you. But if you're the buyer's agent, they just want the houses to come and get them access. So we often have to remember who's sitting at the table with us. And in those times where my clientele, I tend to have some high D's, some drivers in my clientele because of the circle people I hang with. And so if I'm sitting at the table with them, I got to bring up the D. But in the general public, I just want you to be aware of those behaviors and how you might need to slow it down and bring your tone down, or you might need to bring it up, right? Depending on mirror and matching the behavior of the client's gestures. So this is just a general, but and they do it in different ways, but buyers, their goal is to find the right home at the best price, right time, least number of problems. Seller, their goal is to net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems, right? Least amount of hassle in the fastest amount of time with the most amount of money. So they all want faster, quicker, better, and for more. And we have to remember that because it's not about us. It's not like they don't like us. It's not that, oh, they chose this one because, nope, you just did not deliver on the value that they were looking for. You didn't hear what they were asking, and you didn't go and attack and do a tailor-made presentation on literally what they were asking for. Which one's more important, time, money, or hassle? Well, money. Great. Okay. Focus on the net. Hassle. We're going to be in and out of here. I just need to know that I don't have to show it these we're right here. We accommodate. We have multiple people. We'll go over to the property. We'll change it out for you. Hear them and tailor make your conversations. Here's the 10 service areas at the buyer value areas of buyer value proposition. This is also in your MREA, in your red book. Needs analysis. So this is where do you do all of this? And if you don't, we're going to get you there. Okay. Needs analysis on a buyer or seller. We get into that in the seller and buyer parts. Deep. You're going to role play it with each other. You want to start practicing now? Just cut to those chapters and throw a session on in your market center. Do it via Zoom. So needs analysis, pre-qualification, pre-approval. There's actually a lead sheet. You're going to ask questions to a buyer. Neighborhood information. Well, you giving neighborhood stats, here you can't start telling them about who lives where and what cultures and what. I tell them, drive around. You want to look at the schools. There's some reports that you could study. Here's the map. Here's where the parks are. Here's where so you should be able to guide buyers in that way. Because if you did a great needs analysis, and let's just say they don't have a car, they need a walking area, you're going to need to know where is a place where I know that they can have public transportation and they can get to their post office and they can get to their milk. Right? Home search. You all have the ability to do that and put them on a saved search on your app, I'm sure. Maybe you have some tools on the islands as well. And if not, then maybe you just put in your schedule that every Tuesday you're emailing your clients, or every morning you're emailing your clients. Making an offer. That is a value to a buyer, that you take care of it. You make the offer for them. You represent them. They don't have to get into the emotions of it. Negotiating to buy. Once again, emotions, even for my own properties, I do not negotiate. I did it once. I overpaid by like $30,000 on a $289,000 house. Because you get so well, I wanted to win and I get so attached. Don't negotiate for yourself. Let somebody else be the middleman. Vendor coordination. That is huge, especially on the island. I go to my KW peeps for everything, even wings, right? Chicken wings. But seriously, like what car rental do I go to? I'm using Jay's car rental. When do I place do I where do I go to eat? Where do I go for the sunset, the sunrise? But as a vendor coordination, I used Enya for my insurance. I would trust my KW family that they're going to put me in the right hands. The inspector, BB handled that, the appraiser, the bank handled that. So telling a buyer that you guys got it, don't worry. The minute that your contract gets accepted, buyer, here's what happens. And you show them the process and you tell them, I am here the whole way through. And here's all the contacts. And you send a nice email and you let them know, hey, here's the insurance company if you want to look at them, before you need them. Hey, here's the inspector's site. Here's the Facebook page for this one. And you start loading them up with all of your vendors and they realize, man, you know what? You're a resource. How could I do this without you? Pre-close preparation. That's all that stuff we just talked about. Going to the closing and then post-closing. A lot of you can offer services post-closing even more so than we can here in, the States. You have people like me who buy a house and then I'm not there for lots and lots of months. So what could you do? Right? Could you offer a rental opportunity? Could you offer cleaning service? Could you offer, just a long-term rental, short-term rent? You have tons of opportunities to create post-closing value. And I encourage you to kind of mastermind on that. And then the areas of a seller, very similar, needs analysis, pricing strategy. And don't go in and be like, it's 475. You got to show them all the stats, guide them to where you want to guide them. I used to have a regional director. My favorite regional director, his name is Sean Rawls. You could check him out on Facebook. He just wrote a book called Effortless. And he had a couple challenges and he just kind of overcame them. Amazing leader. But he used to have us do this little exercise where if you have some closed comps and you're going to a seller, let's say you have five closed comps, that comparatives that matter to this seller. You put them in order, you black out the price, you just kind of circle the taxes, you circle the size of the property, you circle when it closed, right? And you kind of let that seller go ahead and put these in order. Put them in order of how you believe that these closed, like the price. Show me what you think the value is. And then where do you think your house would be? If you had to put your house in this pile, on this rack, where do you think you'd put your house, Mr. Seller? They're never going to choose the high. They're not going to choose the low. They're going to choose somewhere in the middle. And then you're able to guide them to say, okay, this is the range. Here's what I would suggest also. You turn it over and you show them the prices. And then you've shown them that, we see things differently. I saw it valued this way. You saw it valued this way. And the buyers, obviously, that bought the property saw it valued this way. And then you've got them in as a partner to talk about pricing strategy. So when we say that we do pricing strategy, don't just go in and say, hey, here's the range, or I say 475. Because the minute that you need to adjust that price, how do you go in and say, I was wrong? You have to go, hey, listen, the target is moved. Remember we were talking about that range? Now it's this range. So what do you want to do? Right? And so property preparation, we stage, we take pictures, we have a great photographer, marketing strategy, receive offers, we negotiate, we sell. Pre-close preparation, closing, and post-closing. Right. So these are the things that we actually do with sellers. That are we saying this? And then this is what they want most from their agent. They want help finding the right home. Half of it is, I just want help finding the right home. And for you, you have great value because you have secret listings. You have sellers that say, hey, I'd sell the make me move price. If you get me $1 million, I'll sell. A couple people like that. So you have off-market inventory to say that's my value because we have such a big family, a KW family across these 3 islands. We have inventory that nobody ever sees that we sell. So why wouldn't you want to work with us? That's going to be big. The next one at 24%, other help buyer negotiate the term and then help the price negotiating. So the other part is that you actually negotiate the contract. So you walking in and saying to a buyer, my value is I will find you the right home to purchase and I will negotiate it to an acceptable contract for you. Is that what you just said in the breakout rooms? Because if you did, great. If you didn't, we got to add that language. And with the sellers, factors buyers value when choosing the agent. Oh yes, this is very important. It's not because you're super cute in your picture, right? It's not because of that amazing view behind you, although it's amazing. It is because you are trustworthy and honest. You have experience. If you don't have experience, your company has experience. Your company has all these accolades and best women place to work and most entrepreneurs and all sorts of accolades that you could pull out of our stats. And I'll find them and I'll send them. And the reputation of the agent. So with social media, everything's out there, guys. Everything. Even when you go to your holiday parties, and just be careful, be careful what you put out there. What you put out there is reality to others. It's their perspective of you. So perception is reality. And so just remember this, trustworthy and honest. How do you display trustworthy and honest? Right? Education, right? Coming from contribution, having testimonials that show, hey, we loved working with Mary Beth. She was honest and basically kept us in the light the whole time. We weren't in the dark at all, right? Factors buyers when choosing an agent, we went over that. And then the sellers, they want help pricing their home competitively. I just gave you a little strategy. We're going to talk more when we get to sellers, but that's something that they are looking for. They want help marketing their home. You have a global reach. Do you have a local reach? How could your local reach be even better? And that's what I think I want to challenge you all with. How could your local reach be better? How could you make sure that you are creating co-brokerage agreements with people that don't know about you or aren't tapped into the local, shared listing pool? Invite them to be part of your KW shared listing pool. Help sell the home within a specific time frame and help sellers find a way to fix up the home. So do you have the resources to do restoration? Do you have a contractor in your pocket? Do you have the easy handyman of, hey, part of my home preparation is we're going to come over here, we're going to slap some paint on, we're going to do new curtains over here, put some blinds in, change this window out, paint the deck, the porch or whatever, and put some stone over here. And with that, we charge 3.5% on the seller side, and you're welcome. And that's part of our value proposition because we get your home sold quickly, competitively, and we make it look good. So, and this is important, the reputation of the agent. And if it's not the agent, it's the agency. If you think about it, you're calling your database. Do you have a great reputation with your database, with your sphere of influence? I hope so. So it shouldn't be a problem. And how do you enhance that is now you start to, have reputation with other agents, with the notaries, with the vendors. And now people say, oh, yeah. Arno, I know him. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He's got a great business. Agents honest, trustworthy, and they're a friend or a family member. 17% of it came from a friend or a family member, and we are not calling our sphere of influence as often as we should. 20% of your business is sitting right there. Okay, and it's the same, and it's the same. So as far as technology, the app for me, when I'm on the island, I love using it. I think it's great. You should just share that. And so let's talk about some ahas on seller and buyer. What they're wanting from you and what we're saying. Is there a disconnect? Is there a connect? What should we be doing?
Yeah, can I say something, Mary Beth?
Yeah.
I just talked to Susan and about this presentation about how to the conversation with the seller. I think it's very important that you're on the same page at the end. As you said, read your client in the beginning, know what they want. If they want you to be calm and easy, then you react to that. And I think that's a very good point. Sometimes I use a Red Day, giving back to the community. In Bonaire, tomorrow they're going to the food bank. Just tell the seller that it's not a big thing, but they will remember. So if you use that, that you give back to the community. It always helps. Coming back on the reviews, we don't do that a lot, but we got a lot of reviews on Google. We should actually implement it in the listing presentation. Would be a good one. Actually, that's a bigger half of me.
Good. Love it. Thank you. All right, so let's roll into this because we have a few minutes left and we have to go into one more breakout room. All right, so the 3 steps to define your value proposition is identify your knowledge, attitude, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. I'm positive that matters to people. I'm always seeing the, the glass is half full. If there's a will, there's a way. Your skill, how many homes you have sold, if you have the experience, but your skill that you've been in hospitality, you know how to deal with so many different people. And why does that matter? Because guess what? There's people on the other side of the transaction. And a lot of times, because you can do a nice transaction, that's why the agent may choose to go with your offer. Or that's why, even though the offer's so far apart, we're going to work this and we're going to play tennis and we're going to get to the middle someday, somehow with this client. So know what number 1 is for you, and then transform the value that you provide to becoming a benefit. Like we just talked about, right? Being global, you get more eyeballs on it. Having the app, you're able to share all of the company listings in one shot. And being global, what if I have multiple, being profit share company, growth share company is a value to them because everybody's got an interest that the company is doing well, every agent's doing well. It's really amazing if every single person would do one more transaction. I mean, it's exponential what happens to the growth share and the profit share, and the profit. So, if we all do our part, it's just like one more transaction than we did last year, and you're going to see tremendous growth. And then build your value proposition statement. So you need it to be like those few that we reviewed, the Airbnb. It needs to be concise. So what we're going to do is I'd like for us to go back into the breakout and reshape, and you're not going to have it completely. Maybe some of you do. We're just going to do it for 5 minutes. I'd like for you to have your bullet points now of what you will now say to a seller and what you will now say to a buyer that you'll make sure that you include inside of your value proposition. So we're going to go 5 minutes in the breakout room, and then we're going to pop back out and see if that changed. Okay. So breakout rooms. I'm going to go ahead and open all rooms. And go ahead. Room 2. And assign to a new one. 5. And assign to 5. Okay. And then Kate and Vaughn and Xenia, Gershon. Okay, and Vaughn, you are supposed to go to room 2, but I'm going to push you to Gershon, who's in room 6. So go ahead and accept room 6 if you don't mind, Vaughn. Amy, you are supposed to go to 4, and Xenia 4. Okay, Xenia is here, and Kate.
Amie doesn't have a mic, so we just do it in person.
Okay. Ami, and then Kate's my friend over here. Thank you, Ami. Okay. Ronnie?
Hi, I was having
Hi.
trouble with my audio, so
That's okay. So you got me, because we're gonna just we're gonna play for just 2 more minutes. So tell me about your value proposition. Why would I work with you?
Yes, I think I will go all out for my clients.
Mhm.
That is what I think. So instead of just selling a house, maybe helping a little more contact if they want to remodel the home before selling, for example. Maybe contacts some people that can do that and assist them in doing more. Um, sh- so just give more than just selling homes.
Okay, so you are going to work hard for your clients, and you also are very resourceful because you can assist in anything they need in the home selling process,
Yes,
from
exactly.
fixing up the house to staging the house to getting the house packed up to, transfer
Yeah.
property.
Yes, and
Okay,
the
so
part of teaching, that's also my main goal. So I want to do that one day. So
staging.
yes,
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you're going to do it naturally anyway because it's part of what you will do design wise when you're helping a seller, like, hey, move this chair over this way. And so it could be another business that you start up, but part of your
Mhm.
value to your sellers will be that you work extremely hard. You're very diligent, right? Use some words that
Yes,
really
yes.
hard. What does that mean? I'm diligent. I'm thorough. I have great sweat equity. Like I'm a worker. What does that mean? What's the benefit of you working hard, right, to that seller? And then the other thing that you said was that you're very resourceful and that you could help them with preparing the house to get ready to go to market, all the way to helping them find the right mover to box their stuff off and get them transferred.
Yes, exactly. And I'm very detail oriented. So
Okay.
I notice small things that maybe people don't even notice, but that's important. So
How
that's
about what about a buyer? Why would I want to work with you as a buyer?
as a buyer, let me think. I don't want to say the same thing, but it's
It's probably the
the
same thing that you work really
yes, it's
hard.
the same thing. I work really hard.
Mhm.
I will be negotiating hard.
What have
Um,
you done in negotiating before? Where's your background of negotiating?
not really, but kinda because I was working helping people in debt in the Netherlands before moving
Okay.
here.
Okay.
And
So
you gotta negotiate sometimes
okay, so
to
hey,
lower the
listen,
debt.
that's a big one. I would absolutely I would absolutely be saying that. My background is in debt services or debt collection, and as you can imagine, there was tons of negotiating in that field.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Okay.
that's a good
And
one.
it's not always easy because they already owe, like they're starting at a number that they actually really owe. So I have to hold, just think about that. I mean, you were collecting debts, definitely negotiating is a strength that's going to come out of that skill.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Well,
and then
I
your
was not
resourcefulness is going to,
collecting, but I was helping clients get out of that. So I was in talks with credit cards company, for example, or other companies
yeah.
where the clients had debt, and I really did negotiate for my clients to, get a lower monthly pay.
So here's what I would also say is that something that sounds like it's important to you is protecting people's equity.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a good
Right.
one.
So you need to use that language. I'm a protector of equity, whether it was helping my clients get out of debt because they had credit card, because that credit card starts to snowball and then you wanted to get them back their equity, right? Um,
Yes, yes,
and in homes when you're buying, if you can negotiate lower, you're protecting their equity. As a seller, if you can negotiate higher for them, you're protecting their equity. I love it. All right, let's pull them
Mm.
back. And where are you? You're in Curacao.
Yes,
Beautiful.
I'm in Curacao.
Let's go ahead and close rooms, gives them 60 seconds. But you should go ahead and do that staging company.
Yeah.
I have a great friend who has a staging company, and basically she just rents a warehouse and then they start collecting all the furniture with the ability to have your whole Curacao family need the staging items, a staging business may, you know, maybe near in your future. It doesn't even have to be a long-term goal.
Yes, maybe. We shall see.
Look, as leaders here, as everybody comes back in, as leaders here, we want to see the whole business, the whole person, you know, succeed. So, all right, let's see the breakout rooms. Came back. We still have a few people in breakout, and they're coming now. Joost. Okay, so we're back. How'd that go? How do you feel a little more confident in explaining what you do? Do you feel like you have better direction on what you should even be saying? Anybody want to give an aha for that? Joost, I saw you on mute, so what do you have to say?
No, I said, No, I realized a lot of similarities between the Curacao office and the Aruba office, and I recognized some values and new insights from a younger colleague that I find at this point complementary to what I'm doing. So it all adds up. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love it. Something that we were talking about with Rani was that she came from debt collecting and working with people on their credit card debt and stuff. And so what we were able to translate that to was she is a protector of equity. Whether she's you know, trying to help somebody minimize the debt that they owe and stop that bleeding of interest, she's protecting their equity. And now with the housing, she's able to protect the seller's interest by negotiating up, she's making more equity, and by a buyer negotiating down, she's making more equity for that buyer. So she's a protector of equity. And that sounds sexy when you're talking to sellers. Listen, I'm equity focused. I'm going to help you get your equity. Okay, so one more aha and we'll end out. I want to make sure you guys are connecting this stuff.
Nobody.
Yeah, we found out that after the first meeting, the second meeting, we got way more involved in the added value of the Keller Williams formula. So even because Curacao is of course starting, and I just had a new agent from Aruba that I was talking to, and it could be used as a leverage. You know, even though you might not have the answer, you have 25 colleagues who know the answer, and if those 25 colleagues don't have an answer, we have a whole franchise behind us who might have the answer. So, and that is something that nobody else on the island can give. The knowledge that we have in our backpack with the whole franchise is something that we should not leave behind. It should not. You should sometimes be able to admit that you won't have the answer, but you know where the answer will be. You know, where you can retrieve it.
That is awesome. I love it. And you all can use that. We all can use that. Okay, so it is 10:07. Thank you for hanging with me for a few minutes more than we had agreed to. But we will be back next week. And then I'm visiting in Aruba in a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that live class, and we'll figure out how we're gonna do that with everybody from the other two islands. Geez, maybe I'll just have to go to Bonaire and Curacao and extend the trip. No, I actually have to go to Austin after I come home from Aruba. So we'll do it on the next one. We'll definitely hit the islands, all three.
Yes,
All right. So
yes, you
next time
definitely should.
I will, girls. Don't worry, I'll be there. Yes, happy holidays, everybody. We will be back next week and we'll be starting the lead generation pillar. So I look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. And I'll post a whole bunch of stuff inside the Facebook as well as my follow-up email. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.